Jason Senteny.
Senteny.
I'm close. I'm that close to getting his name right. And you're running for
U.S.
Senate?
House.
U.S. House against Cynthia Lummis.
Yes.
Okay. Now, is this the first time you've ever run against her?
Yes.
Is this your first time running for political office?
Yes.
It is. Okay. So, what inspired you to run for office, especially against her?
I've always had a passion for politics. I feel that at this time I can make a bigger difference in Washington. Plus, I'm also a state employee, so legally I can't run for state office without quitting my job. Okay. And I kind of need to pay the bills.
So you pretty much better win the position.
Yes.
Well, let's give people some of your background. You come from where originally?
I'm from Torrington, Wyoming originally. Okay. Born and raised in the area. Right after high school, I joined the Marine Corps, and I did like most Wyoming kids do, went off and experienced the rest of the world. Lived other places, other states, and home's where the heart is.
Yeah.
I came back to the North Platte Valley, which is like Torrington, Nebraska border, back in 2009, and I was able to get back to Wyoming in 2012. Went to work for the Wyoming Department of Corrections in 2011.
Right.
And so I really do believe in public service. I'm also a volunteer firefighter. I believe in serving my community, and that's what we need more of in Washington. We need citizen legislators, as our founding fathers had wanted in the first place, not career politicians like my opponent actually is.
Okay, and I don't think it was her original intent to become a career politician, but how many terms would this be for her next time?
This would be her fourth term in Washington, but altogether in politics, she's been there for 27 years.
Okay. Is there something that she did or something that happened in politics that prompted you to make this run?
Running against her, she talks about being for states' rights and fighting for Wyoming and stuff like that, but if you look at her voting record, she's supported things like the extension of the Patriot Act, certain provisions of the National Defense Authorization Act, CISPA, which is the Cyber Protection Act, that basically lets the government go to people like, or companies like Facebook and Google and things of that nature, gather all the data on us, each one of us users, and use it for their own purposes, whether it's honest purposes or dishonest purposes. That information's there, and our government's gathering all that stuff on us. And I believe there's way too much government intrusion anymore. So a lot of those bills kind of open the door for this, and I understand they use the excuse national security reasons. Well, too often that term's thrown around, and it's not actually helping people, it's hindering us as a nation and our rights.
Okay, let's just do a quick round of issues here. You and I were just having a conversation about the current tax system in America. So you don't like the IRS. What's your idea?
Basically, I want to go with the national sales tax, repeal the 16th Amendment, do away with the federal income tax. That'll put more money in the pockets of ordinary Americans, working Americans. If they put money into savings, it's no longer taxed for the interest they earn on that. I believe what it'll do is actually increase the amount of money the government is able to bring in while reducing the harm it does to the working people and the middle class in this country. It would also eliminate the 74,000 pages of current tax code that there is. 74,000 pages, that's a bit ridiculous. You could hide a lot of loopholes in there, and if you have an army of attorneys and accountants and things of that nature, you're able to use those loopholes. Well, the average Joe like you and I aren't able to use that. There's many corporations right now that aren't paying any taxes whatsoever into the system, and they're getting government subsidies on top of it. We spent in 2013 $154 billion in subsidies. I mean, the system's set up for the working man to basically fail. It'll tax us into oblivion, basically. With the national sales tax, the more money you spend, the more you're taxed. If you make sound investments, purchase stocks on the stock market, it'll start out at 12%, but if you make a sound investment and you get an 800% gain back on that, it's benefiting you, and you're not taxed on being successful or your profit. The thing about a national sales tax is we already have the system in place, so it won't cost anything to really introduce the federal sales tax or a national sales tax. It benefits everybody because we don't have to deal with the IRS anymore.
Right.
April 15th is just another day, and it puts more money in the pockets of hardworking Americans.
Right. Oh, well, now let's jump to some other issues like education. And one of them right now, a big issue in America, would be Common Core.
Yes. The thing is, I went to school in Wyoming before there was Common Core, before there was No Child Left Behind, and if I remember correctly, we were about 9th or 10th in the country in education. Obviously, the system worked at the grassroots level. Local school districts were doing their own curriculums, and we were a lot better off then. With all these new systems in place, Wyoming's fallen to what, like 37th, somewhere in there, middle of the pack, basically. It doesn't benefit us as a state.
Right.
It takes away role modeling from teachers. Basically, they are the role models in our community. They are every child's first role model. At least one of their teachers is.
Right.
It takes away that creativity and being able to reach each individual child, because not every child's going to learn the same way.
Right. Well, it sounds like you're bringing things more back to a state level and taking control away from the federal level.
Yes.
Okay, now there is a lot of power in Washington, D.C., so how does one guy from Wyoming change what's going on in Washington, D.C.?
It starts with one person. You get out there, you be vocal, you be proactive. What Wyoming needs are leaders in Washington, not people that are just going to be status quo politicians that actually vote with everybody else. I mean, you got to look for solutions. We do need to fix this country. We're on the wrong path right now, and whether it's the current administration or future administrations, I will fight them if they are unconstitutional in any way, shape, or form. We need to downsize the size of federal government and put the true power back in the hands of the states, like the 10th Amendment wanted.
Or for that matter, and this is another big issue at this time, land rights in states like Wyoming. Have you had a conversation with the American Lands Council?
Yes, I have. I actually filled out a questionnaire for them. Talked to them a little bit on the phone when they sent me the questionnaire, and basically I believe the land should be turned back over to the states. It was said years ago, and I can't give you an exact date, but it was said that once these states gain statehood, it would be turned over to the power of the states.
Right.
Currently, the federal government owns somewhere a little over 40% of Wyoming, or controls it. They are basically getting all the revenue money off of any of our public lands that there's resources being taken out of. And the problem with that is the money needs to come back to the state. I think it was last year or the year before, they kind of stiffed us for $55 million. And said, oh, well, we'll pay you back some other time, gave us an IOU. Federal government's really good at that. Why don't we control it at the state level, and then when they want their share, we'll be able to pay them.
Okay, well, your opponent's got quite a war chest, and you've got your car and a lot of miles to put on it.
Yep, I'm fighting an uphill battle, both financially, and she's got a pretty good army of supporters. Personally, she's a great lady, very charismatic and whatnot. I'm just running against her based on her voting record, because she says one thing and does another. I'm a firm believer actions speak louder than words, and we need more working class candidates in Washington.
How do people find you on social media and website?
If they go to www.senteny, that's SENTENEY, for Wyoming.com, they can find out everything, my stance on the issues, everything about my personal life, my upbringing, education, or they can find me on Facebook at Jason A. Senteny for Congress.